back to the goalkeeper.
Mohamed Shaban, unbelievable what he did there. Sechimwero, what was he thinking? Just laid it on the plate for Mohamed Shaban. So he's...
Well, Abubakar Mayanja plays his final bit in the game after 36 minutes. Rating in here, probably B at best for both of them. As Shaban!
But how on earth do they do this? And this is James Begisa in those moments. Bury them.
You keep confusing our viewers. As a chance! The rainmaker! The one player that everybody deserves!
The rainmaker indeed. 14 goals for Shaban Mohammed for the season 2023-2024. He seems to be on fire and he's badly chasing for that golden boot for the Star Times Uganda Premier League. And also, not forgetting that KCCAFC, it's not a secret, has scored the most goals in this year's Star Times Uganda Premier League. That is the season 2023-2024, 44 goals from 23 games. Forget the bad start. The team is on some other business when it comes down to football, especially in the second round. Good evening, it's season 5, episode 28 of the KCCA FC TV show. And just welcome wherever you're watching us from. You're definitely going to walk this journey together with us. All right, to start it off with our social media question, and we already put this up on our polls, and that is the question, if you can be able to read that on your screen. KCCFC is 8 points behind the table leaders, and we're asking that which position do you expect them to finish at the end of the 2023-2024 season. So head down to our social media pages, that is on X and Facebook. We'll be able to read all your comments here on the KCCFC TV show. Now, from the poll question, back to business. The Star Times Uganda Premier League resumed, that is, this previous week on Thursday, where KCCFC hosted Mbara City Football Club. That game was at the MTN Omondi Stadium, and it was the 23rd game for KCCFC for the season 2023-2024 when it comes down to football in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Very, very huge game, and definitely getting into that one. KCCFC was looking for revenge because earlier on in the season, KCCFC visited Mbara City, and that game ended 2-1 in favor of Mbara City. And now, Mbara City was visiting KCCFC, and that was at the MTN Omondi Stadium on the 18th of April. It was a Thursday at 7 p.m. under the lights. What a game of football it was. But I will not be talking this alone. I'm joined by Patrick Ocheng, the usual suspect, very smartly clad in a suit. I don't know whether he was the one wedding or he was attending a wedding. He'll be able to tell us, but he's, very too smart and too serious for the Sunday. He will be telling us, sir, were you the one wedding or you were the one, you were attending a wedding? Was it your wedding?
I'm still very far from a wedding.
Okay.
So I passed by a friend's wedding who gave me a challenge. Okay. And I think very soon before this year ends, I will be gladly dressed again smartly for your own wedding.
Were you the married?
Not mine, for yours.
Were you the one marrying? Or what is that flower? Is that flower they normally put
I was cheering from the sidelines. I'm a cheerleader from the sidelines, as I will be on yours.
Away from that, I will say you're smartly dressed.
Thank you.
Sunday.
Thank you. But also, it doesn't have to be for weddings. This is a national TV and one of the best TVs, club TV in the land. So we ought to dress, man. Once in a while. When did you last see me in a suit on a Sunday?
I don't really recall, but this man really...
I don't usually wear suits on a Sunday.
We're back to business. We're talking KCCFC, Patrick. The Star Times Uganda Premier League resumed on Thursday. That was on the 18th of April. KCCFC hosting Mbara City. And that game was at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Probably what did you make of this game? KCCFC obviously maintaining the run. It's having 5 games or 5 wins in the Star Times Uganda Premier League on the bounce. No one seems to be stopping KCCFC.
For me, I think before even the game started, I'm very few people will actually realize the changes KCCA had, mostly at the back line. You had Mustafa Mujuzi coming back into the team for the suspended Philbert Obenchan. So there were some tweaks in the team, in the starting lineup, and I wanted to see how that would have affected the team. But trust me, KCCA went ahead to score 4 goals and it did not concede any goal. And this shows you the kind of consistency that KCCA as a football club has, a club that wouldn't think they would be where they are looking at the first 5, 6, 7 games of the season. When the season was starting, KCCA was in the bottom 2 actually, with Arua Hill, who did not come back in the second half of the season. So for me, it was a good result. Of course, KCCA scoring, that's why they have outscored any other team with 44 goals. I think the other teams that have scored the most is Chitara and Vipers with 37. So it was a good performance under the lights, and I'm sure the fans, it could have actually been 10-0. And for me, I think we were having a chat. The goalkeeper of Mbarara City, I think, was the man of the match in that game.
Wow.
If we had to talk performance, the goalkeeper of Mbarara City outperformed every player. He had over 8 saves in the game, and it could have easily been 10-0 for KCCA Football Club on the day, but 4-0 is good enough for the team.
A number of saves for that gentleman, Mutebi, who was the goalkeeper for Mbarara City on the day. You felt, just like Patrick says, you felt that on another day, that game could have ended in double digits for KCCAFC, because there was a chance almost every 2 minutes for KCCAFC, but only 4 were buried on the day. 4-0 the final score, and Etienne Katenga joining the party there with the goal. Obviously, Ashraf Mugumi also scoring in that one, and a brace for Shaban Muhammad. We'll be talking about that later on, but the focus is 5 games on the bounce and 5 wins for KCCAFC in the league. I mean, when did this last happen? We need to dig deep and see when that last happened. I mean, you really have to. It's not something very new, but I mean, it's not been happening in the recent months at least.
Yes.
So when you get to achieve 5 wins, big feat for the club.
Actually, that is the hottest a team is currently in the league. And if you look at the 5 games, actually, it all started with NEC, and that NEC game was actually after the Bull draw, which was 0-0, the first game of the second round. That was it's the only game KCCA has drawn this in the second round after losing to Chitara. Then it hammered NEC at home. Okay, it was away. I don't know if I should. Away from home. Yeah. It was at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Then it went away, then beat Vipers 1-0. Then it came and beat Busoga United. It went and beat Gaddafi, and now Mbarara City. That is the consistency that we are talking about. And if you are to win the league, I know right now it's a big ask for KCCA Football Club, though mathematically, which I agree with you at some point, KCCA is there. Realistically, I still think...
I'm glad you agree with me right now. You are not agreeing with me.
Mathematically, I always agreed. Yes. Realistically, it's a slim chance. Very, very slim.
I think go with the mathematics.
Okay. Yeah. Mathematically, if you're to win the league, this is the consistency that you must have. And for me, I think KCCA being 5 game win in a row is something that a team like KCCA actually is supposed to have, because I do not see any other team right now. Actually, I was looking at the log, the table, and it's only KCCA that has managed 5 wins out of 5 games in the Uganda Premier League. And that is all that KCCA is about. That is the KCCA that at least everyone knows. Everyone knows KCCA should be winning. And if I had a feeling, if KCCA had won 2 games, it would be at the top of the log. But unfortunately, that's the game of football.
Out of the 8 games KCCAFC has played in the second round of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, the club has managed to win 6, lost 1, and shared spoils in 1. Obviously, the only loss coming against Chitara Football Club, that was at the MTN Omondi Stadium, and then drawing against that Bull Football Club side. That was the first game of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League in the second round. But the other 6 games, the club has won all those. That means in the 8 games the club has played in the second round, it has managed to win 6, lost 1, and shared spoils in 1. We'll be talking about now the guys that are making it happen at the club. But the focus now is on Etienne Katenga. 3 goals for this player in all competitions in the last 3 games. Scored against Gaddafi Football Club, that was in the league. Scored that equalized for KCCAFC against Bull Football Club. That was at the FUFA Technical Center in Jeru in the quarterfinals of the Uganda Cup. And then he goes on to score against Mbara City. Those are 3 goals for this guy in 3 games, taking his tally to 5 in the league. And then if you add the other squad in the Uganda Cup, that is 6 for him in his first season in a foreign league. I mean, your comment about this player, Etienne Katenga, I feel he's phenomenal. He's
actually outstanding. Looking at the players that have come to the league, KCCA has had foreign players, of course. If you look at Kakonde's numbers, while he joined KCCA, he didn't even manage to score the numbers that Katenga is having. And for me, if I'm to pick up the players that KCCA has signed in this season, I would like to pick out Katenga as the standout player. And actually, it tells because he's starting each and every game. Even under Sergio, Katenga was starting each and every game. Guy, of course, was very good with starting, and then he started getting injuries. So that pulled him out of the team a little bit. But if you're looking for a player that can make a difference, it's Etienne Katenga. He not only scores, but actually assists and helps with the team going forward. Because if you look at even the Mbara City game, he's the one that brought up the penalty. So it's not just about scoring. And for me, I would like to think with the form that Katenga is in right now, I think he might even hit 10 goals in all competitions this season. And for such a player, not even our own local players can have the numbers he's having, because if you look at the other top scorers that we have in Osama Arafat having 6 goals, then there is Ashraf Mugume having 7 goals. Then after that, you actually have Muhammad Shaban, and all those are local players. For me, I think he has outperformed himself so far in the Uganda Premier League. And if this is his first season, I think the next season will be marvelous.
Well, the man doing justice to his shirt number 10, Etienne Openga Katenga from Angola, with some roots falling back in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But then, I mean, that is the player doing justice to shirt number 10. And I'm sure all the past players that have been able to don that jersey should be proud of this young man. First season in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League as a foreign player, and he's having a time of his life. 6 goals in all competitions, 5 in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, 1 in the Uganda Cup. 6 goals for this gentleman with 6 games to play. And I think, just like Patrick says, he could hit double figures. Who knows? We'll be here to tell you on the KCCA FC TV show. But away from that, you talked about Ashraf Mugume getting his 7th goal of the season. I don't know how many free kicks this gentleman has scored for the club this season, but what a free kick against Mbara City.
I think if we were to get a free kick, I do not want even, that's me, I don't want to see any other player around the ball. Let them just leave everything for Ashraf Mugume, because I think he's a set piece masterpiece when it comes to set pieces. And it's not the only goal that he's actually scored against set pieces. There is that one against Wakiso Giants, the last game of the first round that he actually scored. And for me, I think he is having quite a season. This is his best season at KCCA Football Club. And if he continues like this, cheers to him.
Fantastic goal from Ashraf Mugume. That is the goal right there. Shot number 17, beautifully taken and into the back of the net to pick his 7th goal of the StarTimes Uganda Premier League this season. And you get to feel that also that is the player knocking on the door for double digits this season. He could, in the remaining 6 games for the club this season, he could score maybe 3 more and hit the number 10 tally. That is in terms of goals scored. But away from Ashraf Mugume, Shaban Muhammad, the rainmaker, like many call him, scoring a brace on the day, and the player has got 14 goals in the StarTimes Uganda Premier League this season. Now, Shaban Muhammad needs no introduction, Patrick. The discussion just has to be around how many will he score at the end of the season, and is he grabbing that golden boot? We know we're going to talk about the Bright Stars game later on in the show, but Shaban Muhammad.
He actually has 14 goals now. With 6 games left. The next game is actually a very wonderful, interesting game, because the guy that is just below Muhammad Shaban is Nelson Senkatuka of Bright Stars, having 13 goals. So it's head-to-head for Muhammad Shaban and Nelson Senkatuka in the next game, which is on Thursday. That is KCCA versus Soltilo Bright Stars in Kavumba. And I want to see who is going to go. Of course, Nelson will have to score 2 to go beyond Muhammad Shaban. And the hunger that Muhammad Shaban has, you could actually see during the game, he could have easily actually gotten 4 to 5 goals had it not been for the masterpiece of the Mbarara City goalkeeper. And for me, I tip him to actually be the top scorer of the league. KCCA may maybe get a smile from a poor season. If they can have Mohamed Shaban as the top scorer, then, well, kudos. And I cannot wait. Mohamed Shaban, by the way, does not need an introduction.
Doesn't need an introduction. Those are the top scorers for the football club. 14 goals, Mohamed Shaban. 7 goals, Ashraf Mugume. 6 goals, Usama Arafat Kiza. And then 5 goals for Etienne Openga Katenga. Shot number 10, just like most of his colleagues call him. And those are the top scorers for the football club for the season 2023-2024. And that is only, by the way, in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. So kudos to these guys. And you get to feel that in the next 6 games, maybe we could see a player maybe hit 20, maybe hit 10. We'll be here on the KCCAFC TV show to tell you all this and more. Now, away from that, we had 2 players, obviously, that missed this game due to suspension. The skipper, who has enjoyed that armband for the biggest part of the season because the main captain of the football club has been out injured. Philbert Obenchan missed that one due to suspension, and the youngster, who is in his senior 6th vacation, Joseph Ogwang, also missed that one, that player that has been fielded as a right back. Remember, previously played as a centre back in the KCCFC Soccer Academy. And both of these players missed due to suspension, but they will be welcomed back this coming week as KCCFC visit Soltio Bryce. We'll be breaking down that game later on in the second segment. But that is it in terms of what happened on Thursday, the 18th of April, when KCCFC hosted Mbarara City, the Ankole Lions. And that was perfect revenge, 4-0, and in a game where you felt that it could have ended into double figures for KCCFC on the day. Now, away from the Star Times Uganda Premier League, at least for now, in the first segment, we caught up with the player Peter Lwasa, recently joined KCCFC. He's had stints at URA Football Club before. He has also had a stint at Gor Mahia in Kenya and very many other clubs. But he joined the club in January, in the January transfer window. And we caught up with the club, with the player. How is he finding life at KCCFC? I mean, he's not been starting very many of the games, but what kind of contribution does he see himself bring to the party, especially as KCCFC has got 6 games to go? Now, here's Peter Lwasa telling us life at KCCFC in his first months at the club.
Zone for KCCFC. And the fans know how close that came from being goal number 5. They are relentless, their appetite insatiable. It's goals, goals and more.
Bajira bereo mubonji, batuwagire bongere tuwagire. Bongere tuwagire supporting. Tujaba wakisinga. Fetukubediba.
Through, not well addressed, the shot coming up rising. Well, Lwasa just seems to be enjoying his game here. It looks like it's just another day at the kickabout.
Nakabanga kinakabera team eri cooperative. Abazenyi balungi technical nayo elete ebintu ebiri ku mulamwa coordination nungi so far environment simbi sija kugamba nti nasubira okutandika buli mupiira but nze mu bwongo bwange ekimbeeramu just kujja kukola then coach ebirala mbirekere ba coaches ne technical kiba deciding nze I'm free to go with it as much as Mba giving them my best. So it's their time to see whether I'm featuring or not. Of course, Dirase Bulonji on my side because Bembanga sees wala funa dachika nyinjiko proving my best. Of course, in the hands of the Njibachi Nigeraja Muko. But however, I'm not the coach. So Mbani no kwekomanange tochi nenda banti. Oba coach chanda ba mukyali kitonotono. I have to do my best. Competition here, it's a healthy competition. Quality abazanyi weli. Ate no kola we kuliba kola. But it's not. I think it's not a reason. Lwachi standika mipira mingi. But maybe it's because coach chabasazeo for that game. Nga abala banga game situation. I think it's like that, but not that in the competition yendete okubela bwe. Era buli kaseera embeera ku mutwe ngamba leero it's my day. Leero evaayo. Kugamba kabadde eryawo sinsibe nnyo. Sinsibe nnyo eryawo erinda bulungi just kupeninga katono nnyo. era nga manyi soon nja kujja kunze, it doesn't matter kunze ninda just that opportunity whenever oba it's away oba it's a cup oba it's a league kyenjagala ninda kaseera ako. We just need to keep our momentum okubanga tusobola okugiving our best each and every game. Ebirala byonna bijja kwekola byokka. Ekibalo kyonna nga bwe kiri kijja kuvayo bulungi singa fenga abazanyi tukoncentratinga kon a task ahead ne tujijjawo.
Well, that is Peter Lwasa, recently joined KCCAFC in the January transfer window, and he's telling us about life at the football club in his first months. Well, and he's yet to hit that form that everyone really expected from him, but all is not lost. We've got 6 games to go, and you get to feel that he still has a chance, and he's using his time at the football club, and you get to feel that maybe this player is going to be very important for the football club. What do you have to say about Peter Lwasa?
I think the competition is really tough. It's very stiff at the club right now. Looking at the number that he plays, you have Etienne Katenga, who has hit top form. It's very hard to drop him now. And then you also have Osama Arafat, who's very hard to drop, I would say. On a good day, it's very hard to drop Osama Arafat, though the goals seem to have been lost from him. So let him hang in there. And I know he can actually be a very good player. Not every player needs to start, by the way. There are some players that need to come off and give the energy off the bench. I think all is not lost. There is still so much for him to give the club. All is not lost for Peter Lwasa, but away from him, we get back to the social media question that we earlier on flashed on your screens, and we are asking that KCCAFC is 8 points behind the table leaders. Which position do you expect them to finish at the end of the season with 6 games to play in the Star Times Uganda Premier League? Let's read some of your comments from X. We'll be reading some of your comments. Okay, and the first one is Keza Brenda, who says first position. Says first position for KCCAFC, so she's hopeful that KCCAFC will win. Omulangira Suna Joseph says, I think my opinion is KCCAFC will take the league, and I have all hopes that we'll finish in the first position. Omulangira Suna Joseph. Very hopeful, like you. Yeah. I mean, I think we share sentiments with different people here. The next response on X, that is Katwere Enoch, says Chikopo. That means first position. Man. People are as hopeful as me. You might have hacked into people's accounts. No. Dirty Money, or at Sean Day or 13, people have names. Have you seen that one? Dirty Money says first, then kills Emma Bamsizi 1 says, what did he say? Top 4. He said top 4. But I think you hacked people's accounts. How comes Emma says top 4, and I mean by top 4 that means we can finish it the first. How comes everyone is saying first? You got comments of only people saying first. People know that anything is possible in football. If you've got 6 games to play, and you're just 8 points behind the leaders. Maybe the producer looked for comments of first. You decided to leave comments of people who are saying. Those are the only comments we have on X. Now we're going to be taking a break. When we return, so much to talk about, including our official women's football club that played a game this morning. That was at the MTN Omondi Stadium, and also everything to do with the Star Times Uganda Premier League, because next week on Thursday, the club makes a short trip to Wakiso District, where they will be taking on Soltiro Bright Stars. We'll be discussing this and more after the break.
The daylight makes most things shine. With the right lights, everything looks bright. Gent brings the magnificence, elegance, and beauty of your home to life. Crafted to perfection. Detail and extravagance, leaving nothing to chance. Your dream home is only a switch away. Switch to the best. Gent Electric.
All right, welcome back from that break. You're still watching the finest and freshest football club TV in the land. It's season 5, episode 28 of the KCCAFC TV show. And we told you when we were leaving for the break, we told you that we'll be talking the Star Times Uganda Premier League and something from our official Women's Football Club. But first, let us read some comments from Facebook when it comes down to the poll question that we put up earlier on our official pages and also on the screen. KCCAFC is 8 points behind the leaders. And where do you think the club will finish this season? Badman Chatter on Facebook says 3rd place. I don't think this one is our fan, but well. Motevi Sulaiman says 1st. Another person sharing my sentiments.
So someone, to be honest, is not a fan.
I said I don't think. I might be wrong. AJ Sembatia says 5th. I also don't think, but I might be wrong. Matt Martins uses the hashtag KCCFC TV and he says we are finishing in the 4th position. He's a top fan, by the way. And then Yiga Livingstone says 3rd position for KCCFC this season. And Nyakana Peter says we need 5 games win consecutively. Olabe Olutambi Weluchuka. We've got 6 games to play in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. And like Nyakana says, if we can win all the 6, I saw drama happening last season on the final day of the season. Anyone could have won it. Anyone could have won it. But well, that is the game of football. And we want to thank all our fans for the reactions on X and Facebook. Please keep it up. And we'll always be here to read all these reactions. And always remember to use that hashtag KCCFC TV. Now, away from the poll, all right?
Before you go to the poll,
okay,
what is your prediction from the comment?
Oh.
Where do you think KCCA will finish?
I've already told you. I do believe that with football, you can never say never. With 6 games to go, if the club keeps this momentum and just wins the remaining 6, there's a chance. There's a big, big chance.
Just win your games and leave the rest.
Yeah, just win your games. And for me, this will be, one of those stories in the game.
You don't think we shall also be affected by what happened in the top game yesterday? Was it yesterday? Vipers Chitara, what took over center stage?
What happened?
Witchcraft.
I don't know.
Do you believe in those things?
What happened? I don't know anything that happened. You could probably guide.
Which world are you in?
You can tell the viewer.
No.
This is KCCAFC TV.
You don't have.
We can allow you to talk about other things that you want.
It's not other things. Of course, we are talking about Ugandan football and KCCA is in Ugandan football.
So Patrick knows exactly what happened.
No, I don't know.
The clubs that KCCAFC is supposed to topple to win the league.
It was all over on social media after the KCCA Chitara game. I think it's what took center stage. Vipers versus Chitara. Yeah. I think it's what took center stage. Besides the other team that won, witchcraft things happening. And it is said, not my words, on social media, it is said that witchcraft is real in Ugandan football. I don't believe in witchcraft personally. I don't know if witchcraft is there. I believe. What do you think about witchcraft in Uganda?
I don't believe in it.
Have you heard the stories?
I do have not. I'm only getting to I have you on ground. You're my man on ground. I've not heard any of that. But
yourself, you've told me witchcraft stories before in office while we are jazzing.
No.
In football. No. And right now you're saying you don't believe?
Do not believe what Patrick is saying, but we are sticking to KCCFC TV, and that was a slight commercial break for him. That was his moment to shine. We'll stick to KCCFC because we win sportingly. We have won our 5 games in a row sportingly. Now, away from that, our official Women's Football Club played the game this morning under that morning downpour. That was Kampala Queens hosting Shimak, that team from Makerere University. And that game ended 2-2 at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Kampala Queens taking an early lead in that one, and Shimak going on to score 2 goals. And then Kampala Queens had to leave it a little bit late and to level matters in that one. Goals for Kampala Queens scored by Teddy and Lillian. And just so you know, the lineup that side for Kampala Queens, we had Nakazero Daisy in there. She's the captain. And then we had Namusoke Esther, Kwatulira, Winfred, Najuma Teddy, who scored a goal in that one. Those are some of the pictures from that game. Nachibuka Asia, this is a national team player. Navuli Major, Mila, Wayodi Marceline, Naluja Shamira, Nande Designer, Kasubo Lillian, and Nachinji Sophia. Those are the players that started for Kampala Queens. Obviously, a number of changes made in that game. And just so you know that Kampala Queens are second on the table for the FIFA Women's Super League and with 27 points. and have got 7 points, and are 7 points below the table leaders. But remember, Kampala Queens have got a game in hand. The leaders are Kawempe Muslims. And just so you know that there are 10 teams in the FUFA Women's Super League, and you get to play 18 games in the season. Kampala Queens has got 4 games to go. That is the table there. Kawempe Muslims on 34, and then Kampala Queens on 27 with a game in hand, but 7 behind Kawempe Muslim. And you get to feel that maybe if Kampala Queens can win their remaining games.
And they play 8 games, 18 games.
They play 18.
18. So all the other teams have 3 games left.
Yeah.
And KQ has 4 games left.
4 games left. They've got to win all, and also hope that there's some points dropped by Kawempe Muslim if they have to go back on the continent, just like they did earlier on the season in the qualifiers. But well, that is all about the FUFA Women's Super League.
They've not had quite good form, because in their last 4 games, they have 4 points. That means a point. They've actually drawn all their 4 games. And I don't know where that leaves them, but they have hope, of course, in the FUFA Women's Cup, which is like the Stanbic Uganda Cup of the women. They're in the semi-finals.
They'll be playing against She Corporate.
So maybe there is some silverware for them in the FUFA Women's Cup. But as for the league, I think it's very hard with the current form that they have. 4 draws in 4 games. It's really not good for our women team. But we hope maybe they can get some consistency from the men's team.
They need to get back to winning ways.
We need to give them some notes, maybe.
We need to borrow them some success, some
consistency,
some good luck charms,
and some clean sheets and 5 wins in a row charm.
If we're going to borrow them some good luck charms, you wanted to borrow them something else. Well, but I get to feel that this team will definitely turn things around, because I've got some brilliant players in there, the Naluja Shamiras, national team players. And then you've got the Najuma Teddy's in there, who scored today. And Namusoke Esther, plus also the goalkeeper Nakazero Daisy, a couple of national team players in there. You get to feel they should be doing more. And I'm a strong believer that if they can get back to winning ways in the last 4 games they have remaining, then who knows? Well, away from that, we get back to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, and we're talking KCCAFC Bright Stars. This game will be at the Kavumba Recreation Center. KCCAFC making a short trip to Wakiso District this week. That will be on the 25th. Yes, that will be on Thursday, 25th. And KCCAFC will be playing against Solitio Bright Stars. You get to feel that this is another battle for, you have Nelson Senkatuk on one side, the former player of KCCAFC. And then you have Shaban Muhammad on 14 goals, Nelson on 13. I get to feel it's going to be a battle of the Golden Boot, and also KCCAFC trying to make sure they win the 6th game on the bounce in the league. What do you think?
I think besides the battle of the Golden Boot between Mohamed Shaban and Nelson Senkatuka, there is no any other battle that is going to happen. I do not think KCCA should be struggling or will be struggling to win that game against Sotilo Bright Stars. With the consistency, of course, the form KCCA is having right now, I don't think it's unstoppable. Right, if you look at, also, meanwhile, KCCA has not lost any away game in the 2nd round. It has actually gone ahead to win all of them.
The away games,
it started with Express, that 4-3, they come back. They were 3-1. We were 3-1 down at halftime. Then came back to win 4-3. Then we played NEC. It won NEC 3-0. Then went to Vipers away, beat Vipers 1-0. Then Gaddafi, the recent one, which is 2-1. So those are 4 away wins for KCCA in the 2nd round, let alone the 5 wins in a row for KCCA. So I think and I believe that it's not easy, of course. KCCA has always struggled. There are 2 teams that KCCA has struggled most with. One was against Mbarara City, but we all know what happened to Mbarara City on Thursday. KCCA has always struggled to beat Mbarara City, because even in the 1st round, KCCA actually led 1-0 and it managed to lose 2-1 against Mbarara City. Bright Stars, KCCA buried Bright Stars in the 1st round. There were 4 goals.
At Lugogo, I forget that score. It should have been 3.
I think it was 3.
Good number of goals scored.
Yes.
There. I remember Peter Loki scoring his first goal for KCCAFC that day against Barra City.
KCCA was struggling. That was the period.
Also scored in
it was
one.
the period where KCCA was actually struggling, but it managed to come up on top and beat Saltillo Bright Stars. And for me, I think it's going to be a double against Saltillo Bright Stars with the form KCCA is having right now. For me, personally, I think it's unstoppable and it's going to win comfortably, by the way. And I tip Mohamed Shaban to score 2 goals in that game.
Well, he tips Mohamed Shaban to score 2 goals in that one. That means he'll be taking his tally to 16. But these are the numbers ahead of this game, KCCAFC and Bright Stars Football Club. In the past 23 games played between both sides, KCCAFC has won 13, while the home side, Bright Stars, have been able to win 5 games. Then we have KCCAFC there. Both clubs have shared spoils 5 times. KCCAFC has scored 34 goals in this fixture, and Bright Stars has scored 17 goals in this fixture. Points for both clubs, KCCAFC on 44, and then Bright Stars on 20. I definitely also think, just like Patrick says, that it's going to be more than just Shaban and Nelson in this one. And there's so much to play for. The club has got to win and make sure it just keeps that momentum and just wait. And just wait for any of the teams maybe to slip up in the remaining 6. Definitely KCFC with the game in hand. And who knows? That's the start times. Uganda Premier League table. Bull Football Club on 46, topping the start times Uganda Premier League table, has got 5 games to play. Vipers in second on 45. Chitara on 44. SC Villa on 42 points from 23 games. They've got a game in hand. And then we have NEC in there on 40 points. Then KCCFC in 6th on 38 points. I think the rest will not be able to read, but you can see the table for yourself. But not to forget that KCCFC has scored the most goals, 44 goals from 23 games in this year's Start Times Uganda Premier League. You get to feel that the team is on a free flow, and no one's going to really stop that, because with the kind of football the club is playing lately, you get to think that it's going to be hard for any team to stop this team. It's really going to be hard.
Like I said, KCCA has players that are on form, and I think that is what is helping the team. You have Mohamed Shaban firing all the cylinders. Then you now have Ashraf Mugume also scoring. You have Etienne Katenga, who has got his form. I remember I was criticizing him a lot for not scoring, and he said he was watching, and true, he had and watched. After that game, he told me I keep talking more about him because he watches. And
kudos to Etienne Katengo Penga.
He really watches.
Watching the KCCA.
He really watches, and he sends greetings to you before coming to the show. He says, "Say hi to my man Magero." He says in Luganda, Mwagalanyo. I don't know who's teaching Katenga Luganda, but he's having some Luganda words these days. So for me, I think the key role, and also the midfield that has actually helped KCCA a lot. But I think everyone is performing, all the players are performing. And I don't know if we can have some time and talk about these players, mostly in the midfield, who have had a very big role.
In a minute, we'll talk about, I'll just pick out one of them. That is Joel Serunjoji. Your opinion on this player as we wind up the show?
I think if you're to look at the player that has helped change KCCA around, Joel Serunjoji should come, not top, but should be among the top 2 or top 3 players who have helped KCCA turn this around. If you look at his performances, actually, against Express, the 4-3 was voted man of the match. Against Vipers, 1-0, he was also man of the match, I think.
He had a very good game that day.
I would want to say is like the center of gravity. Everything at the club is happening around Joel Serunjoji. And you can see that the midfield partnerships are changed, but so Joel Serunjoji is the guy that is always available. Even when Ashraf Mugume was injured, Joel was available. Guy is injured, Joel is available. Even when Saidi Mayanja starts on bench, Joel is available. So I think availability is the first thing any football player should have, and Joel has it.
Let me teach Patrick one word for this player, Joel Serunjoji. You've heard of what they call the register in modern football? The register is that player like we see Pep Guardiola, Sergio Busquets, that kind of player.
Did you watch Pep Guardiola
the register? I've watched some of his videos. I'm not that, yes, but I've watched some of his videos.
But you see with clips, such clips, they cut out only the
I've watched Busquets at least. So that is that kind of player. But obviously, kudos to the entire team.
Kobe Mainu. Please get some United. Kobe Mainu.
No, Joel Semjoji any day. But kudos to the rest of the team. These guys are doing fantastically well, and and they're the reason why at least KCCFC, the fans have got to smile a little bit because things are a little bit different. The first round was not the best, and you get to feel that there's a chance for the football club. This is a wrap from all of us here. Kudos to everyone that does participate and give reactions on X and Facebook. And that is for the poll questions that we put out there. Patrick, unless you have any greetings to send, I'll send greetings to a gentleman called Aziz. I found him on my way here, and he told me that he's an ardent viewer of this show, Aziz. And I forget his other name, but it's called Aziz. He told me he watches, and he told me, please, do at least wave to me. Please, Aziz, thank you very much for watching, and everyone that watches the show.
For me, I think I would like to send my greetings to... I don't know, but Port Bell Supermarket, they always tune in. Everyone at the supermarket gets to watch. So when I go there to buy something, they're like, we saw you on TV, and they are viewers of KCCA Football Club. At least they have screens, and all the screens show KCCAFC TV when it's 8 p.m. And thank you so much to them and to all the viewers of KCCA Football Club. Thank you. See you next week sometime.
No greetings to the spouse that you've just...
Which spouse?
Okay. The man was from a wedding tonight. But from everybody that makes sure this show runs every Sunday, 8 p.m., thank you very much. And to you, the viewer that watches and gives us reactions on X and Facebook, we can't thank you enough. It's a wrap from all of us. We'll be back next week, Sunday, for episode 29 of the finest and freshest football club TV in the land. But we'll leave you with a player challenge. And this is something from the KCCFC players. Have a fantastic new week, and good night.
We're making a circle, and the ball is in the middle. The ball is down. No point. No point. No point. No point. No point. We did not drop it down. Only two. Maximum of two. Maximum of two. Maximum of two. Another point. That's one. That's one. Let me see. Let me see. The ball has dropped down. We're going back. Don't score. We're going back. Let's score. Let's score. No point. Wait. Go back. I said maximum 2 touches. I said maximum 2 touches for first. Maximum 2 touches. Maximum 2 touches. You can make one. You can make two. You can make one. You can make two. You can make one, you can make two. 2 touches every ball. What's happening there? Hey! No way! We're taking it back. No, 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 no. I can't see what's happening there. I can't see what's happening there. I can't see what's happening there. That's a point. 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 3 for Gabi and the team. Hey, Gole. Hey! No, no, no. We're taking no point. No way. Gole. Let me see here, Gole. Your team is doing so badly. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Your team is doing so badly. That's a point, 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 that's a... Oh! Well, we need more referees. Wait. What's that? No way! Nothing there, Kateg. I nothing. get back. Let's get back. Let's get back. Let's get back. Now listen. You may not connect your arms, but keep the ball up on the head.